Welcome back to Nerfed Reflexes, where skill is optional and fun is mandatory. Today we're jumping back into Darkblade Ascent. The last video I showed you took me through the campaign, but I've got exciting news. I have not beat the campaign yet because I discovered this existed, the Hideout, and it has been incredibly fun and I've been grinding the crap out of it. So today we're going to try and go for a dub and show how that works. I will eventually finish campaign. I did a couple of runs of it yesterday and got pretty far. It was really fun. But for now, I want to show you some really exciting stuff here. I've unlocked all the classes. Like I said, I've been grinding. Frostweaver is by far my favorite class, although the Berserker class is also pretty fun. You can generate rage, and there's passives that you can get that'll like do explosions and help you regenerate health and stuff like that. So maybe I'll showcase that in another video. If you want to see that, leave a comment down below and tell me exactly what you want to see, what kind of class and kind of build. Other exciting stuff. So this is more like a roguelike survivor, but it's first-person shooter, right? There's a few different levels you can go through. I guess I'll show this off. Here's the passive tree. This is what I've unlocked so far. This is more for going through the campaign, it seems. This is just decreasing the cost of stamina and giving me max stamina. I went all the way into swords, so I'm going to make a sword build today. I started speccing into spears because I did play with spears and they're pretty fun. I also specced all the way into cold, so we're going to make a cold sword build. So this gives cold weapons a chance to chill enemies, but we got to find a cold weapon first. And then this just gives me a chance to deal double damage, which is kind of busted. I'll explain why in a minute. And then finishing a room heals you. I don't think that applies to what we're doing. Not that I've noticed anyways, but the max health does. So you have gear slots. I'll show you my sword in a second. Here we go. So here's your gear slots. These are things that you can equip, right? You'll notice I'm wearing all legendary gear. I'll explain why I have so much money. Well, I don't have much money now, but how I got so much money to get this gear and got extremely busted. You also have a stash where you can store things. You've got this shop guy that you can buy things from after you level them up. Leveling them up is expensive, but I found a way to generate a ton of money very quickly. If I have the opportunity, I will try to show that off. But yeah, that's basically it. So I leveled this guy up. I re-rolled a bunch of times, found some gear that I liked, and just stocked my character out. So all of my gear that I'm currently wearing is all cold related because I'm going for a cold build. So you can see here my stats. I have over 750% increased cold damage. Like what? Extra sword damage, 300%, global damage, almost 500%, physical damage. And this is all coming from the stats on this gear. I would like to get some more attack speed. Right now it's pretty low. I did have it much higher. My run speed is beyond the maximum, and my health isn't exactly where I'd want it. I'd like to see that a little bit higher. But I think that we have so much damage that we're probably going to one-shot most things anyways. So we're going to jump into this run. Oh, a little bit of lag as the level launches. Okay, so this is where I've been having the most fun. There's always 3 enemies. They're super easy to kill, and they always drop a weapon each at the beginning of a run, because if you die while in this mode, you lose literally everything. All the gear you're wearing, the sword you have. So it's just a way to, give you 3 little starting weapons and you hop into a run and hopefully you get something useful. I'm just going to salvage just about everything I see, but I do want to show you a couple of things that are really cool. So the sword that I'm currently using, I'm not a huge fan of, but it does a pretty good chunk of damage. I want to find a cold sword because that will spec with my passives. It will spec with the boons that I can get. It will spec, there's a lot of synergies. Anyways, you'll also notice that there's a special thing at the bottom of the weapon here. This one in particular, receive another core that stores 20% of your weapon's damage on each hit. Dodging will drop the core, dealing all accumulated damage. And so basically that's what this thing is here on the left side of my screen. That's kind of annoying. It shows how much damage is stored, and then when I dodge, it drops it and does a little explosion. So you can see that there. But there's a bunch of different things. This one had, there's like 10. That one doesn't have anything. This one has, when you parry, automatically trigger pushback. Now, remember this one, forceful rebuttal. That one is important for how you can farm up a ton of money really quickly. Each hit with this weapon increases your chance to deal double damage. Double damage is huge, but it's an axe. Not a huge fan of axes. They attack very slowly, even though they hit really hard. All right, so we're gonna grab a reward here. Frost Shield is kind of insane. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. Okay, so we've got our upgrade. We can close the ward, and we can immediately start attacking enemies. They have a little bit of cooldown before they start respawning. The only thing that you don't lose when you die in a level is the gold that you picked up. So it could be worth it to make sure you're picking up all the gold. But look how hard I'm hitting these guys, dude. 50,000 is insane. Oh, we leveled up already. All right, we're looking for a cold sword preferably, so I'm just gonna salvage everything I can find. Chills enemies, Frostweaver spray range. Let's go for the explode, although I don't think I'm gonna need it. I am so strong. Max stamina, max health. I'll go for the max stamina. Enemies also drop gear. I just picked up a green helmet there. So one of the things you can do early on in the run, if you're doing this game mode in particular, is leave the gold on the ground, because there is a passive that you can get that will allow you to, every time you pick up gold, you heal, or whenever you heal, you gain gold. Whenever you do a pushback, you gain gold. So that weapon that I was showing you, wow, we are leveling like up so fast. I guess my XP gain is kind of crazy right now. I did max out the XP thing on the skill tree. Let's go for cooldown. I'm not sure if we're gonna need it. Lightning damage, max health, or dodge cost. We'll go for the max health. Put us over 500. It's pretty nice. I'm trying to salvage this weapon, but I can't look at it because the bubble's in the way. No big deal. Oh, there is a blue pair of boots. Let's pick those up. Yeah, so anything you pick up along the way, you can equip like mid-run. So if you perished in a previous run and you just like pick loot up off the ground, you can just throw it on real quick. Ooh. I will say this like dodging thing is really cool. It stores up so much damage. I wonder if I can like just store up all the damage in it and not dash through an entire run and then see if I can one-shot the boss with so much damage. We have 216,000, 233,000 damage stored already. Kind of crazy. All right, we'll go for the Frost Shield again. It's not going to do anything immediately. Like you can see, I'm getting, my health bar has like this frost effect around it. If I hit chilled enemies, it basically just builds up armor. Daggers doesn't help us. Spears doesn't. None of this helps us. I don't want any of this. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I'll grab the lightning one because there is a chance that I will end up with a lightning passive. So, abyssal enemy appears. Where is he? I'm going to try and one-shot him with my dash. Yeah, he's over here. So these purple enemies that spawn will give you... There we go, I dashed. Oh, he just immediately got rocked. It's just... I'm doing so much damage, this is silly, right? It will get more difficult as the run goes on. Like, tougher enemies will spawn. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, by the way, there is a parry mechanic. So if someone's going to swing at you, obviously everyone has different timings, but you can parry and have this like little pushback ability. And that is one of the ways you can get a ton of money. So I'll show you here. So it's one of these guys. Which one is it? Yeah, it's over. Yeah, so whenever you push back, which is after you riposte, you can get a pushback. Whenever you push back and it kills an enemy, you gain 25 gold. But then there's also, you gain a gold from any source of healing. And then there is one where when you pick up gold, you heal. It is one of these somewhere. When you're below 30% health, all healing is amplified. And then there's like a golden might. You gain 2% global damage for each 100 gold you have. Riposte deals extra damage equal to 30% of your total gold. You automatically attract gold. Yeah, it gets nuts. If you can get lucky and get these early, you can just sit in a corner and constantly riposte. And then if you have that weapon that I have that automatically pushes back, you parry, it pushes back automatically, and then you can still use your R ability to still do your riposte, your pushback, and that also gives you gold. And then there's another piece to that. When you take damage, you trigger the pushback every 3 seconds. Like there's a lot of synergy here with that, and it gets kind of crazy. It goes nuts. But for this run, frost gains whenever I kill a chill enemy, permanently gain 1% cold damage is pretty nuts. This is also immediately helpful because I don't have a way to really consistently do frost gains yet. I do have the thing in the skill tree that allows me to chill with cold weapons if I could find one. Unfortunately, that is another fire damage. So I'm looking specifically for a sword that deals cold damage. We'll do the cooldown. Pushback damage. That's the other thing too, is you could scale your pushback damage, right? Global damage. We'll do the pushback damage. Alright, so my Q ability, right? Obviously this will work better in a bigger pack, but I can do this, and enemies are chilled. Well, they would have been chilled if they didn't just die, because I have so much damage stacked. I am so powerful that just about nothing can touch me. It's ridiculous. But yeah, what I would do is I would come over here, and there were a bunch of runs in a row where I would just stand here in the corner. I would let the enemies come to me, and then I would let them attack, and then I would parry, push back. Parry, push back. Parry, push back. And I would just do that constantly and just gain gold. And if things got rough and scary, I would come here to this circle and stand my ground for 10 seconds, which opens up the exit for us to run. We're at a lot of damage. Okay, dodge, boom. He's just dead already. It's so crazy. We got costly recoil. So this deals double damage, but removes 5 gold every time you get it. Like, it sounds bad for farming gold, because every time you push back, you're losing 5 gold. But you want your pushback to kill enemies, so you might want to double your pushback damage, right? So it's a 5 gold loss when you push back, but it's essentially a 20 gold net gain. So you can just sit in the corner and, yeah, it goes kind of crazy. Whenever you kill an enemy with your weapon, permanently gain 1% damage of that weapon type. Let's do it. I had a slight delay there. Someone came into my room and graced me with a fresh cup of coffee, so here we are. Cooldown, chill all enemies. I'll go for that, I suppose. I really, really want a frost sword. What are you? That's a spear. Not quite what I wanted, but close. Get out of here, buddy. Daggers, attack speed, cold damage, sure. Yeah, I'm so powerful I could probably just run around and wildly swing and kill everything and not take damage. This is ridiculous. If you understood like how weak you are when you first start off, this is actually just God mode. Plus, this level is, significantly easier than the next level. Like, it's not even close. I haven't beat the second level yet. I've chickened out. I got really close to perishing and just dipped a few times now. Probably about a dozen times. You know, I'm on like 50 HP or something like that, and it's just like, nah. So I don't even know what the second boss looks like. But this one I have beat, obviously, because I opened up the second level. So I just want to show you guys what this looks like. This boss in here is also, it happens to be the first boss of the campaign mode, which I beat. Not on camera, of course. because I was grinding. I don't know. I just started playing this yesterday and just immediately got hooked, man. It's so addicting. It's crazy. Oh, he just got one shot. I'm really curious if I can make it through this entire thing without dodging, if I can one-shot the guy with this sword ability, but the second I find a cold sword, I'm replacing it, so I might not have this ability. You gain gold from any source when you heal a health point. And then there's also the when you gain gold, you heal. Yeah, of these available options, honestly, I'm just going to go with this. Having some sort of healing is just too good. Random belt on the ground. Reduce the cooldown of that. Spell deflex, sword damage, 200%. 200% spell deflect is pretty good. Come on, give me a cold weapon. Give me a cold sword specifically. I don't want to dodge, but because I don't want to lose all this damage I have stored up. I want to see if it's possible to one-shot the boss if we don't find a cold sword. Yeah, I will say without stamina regen, that's probably one of the most important ones. There's one of those upgrades that I just showed you when you level up. Or whenever you kill an abyssal enemy and it allows you to pick a boon. There is one that gives you increased stamina regen. But when you drop below a certain threshold, you take damage. A certain threshold of stamina, that is. It sounds bad, but the stamina regen is so good. It's almost mandatory early on, I feel. Like, now I'm doing so much damage that I don't have to use stamina. The only thing that uses stamina is riposting. So you'll see here when I right-click, my stamina goes down. Or when you dodge, your stamina goes down. Attacking doesn't do anything for that. So, like, if you're doing that build I was talking about where you're trying to farm up a bunch of gold, then having the stamina regen is very important. Which one of these do I want? Oh, I guess I could show you that one real quick. Yeah, so it's this one. Energized March. Stamina regenerates 25% faster, but when you drop below 20% stamina, you take 20 damage. And then you've also got this. Whenever you hit an enemy with your weapon, recover 10 stamina, but lose 50% of your permanent stamina when you take damage. If you can consistently riposte, then that one's pretty good as well. But for these, I think I'm just going to take this one. This gives us an AoE attack. So every 3 attacks, my next weapon hits for 50% of its damage to all enemies in a 5-meter radius. Kind of crazy. Not that I think that enemies are going to get anywhere near us, but they may. How much are we hitting for? 62,000, 31,000, and then we get double damage occasionally. $61,000. So it's interesting that the AoE procs on the same enemy. So now the next hit. Ooh, hello. Yeah, so that enemy took 2 instances of damage, which is interesting, considering one was enough to kill them. Oh, that explosion is so good. Oh. I dodged out of instinct there. Whoops. Oh, got a ring. Hey, bud. Goodbye. you got for us? Grab the frost shield. Please. Give me a cold sword. Ooh. Ah, it's fire. Yeah, you can kind of tell what they look like because they have... Obviously, the color signifies their rarity. They also have a level. You'll see at the top, this one's a level 14 that I found. I'm not sure how high it goes. I have had a level 20. There's another abyssal enemy. Whoop. Rounding strike, forceful shove. When you kill a shocked enemy, permanently gain lightning damage. Every 10 seconds, create a lightning ground. After dodging, your next hit deals 50% more damage. I guess we'll grab this, just to have some passive damage. Where are we at? We're at 7, almost 8 minutes on the clock. The boss will spawn at the 12-minute mark. So let's store up a bunch of damage in this sword and see if we can't one-shot the boss. Can we do it? By the way, if you like roguelikes and you enjoy the video, please, if you're still around, like the video. It really helps me out. I know you've probably heard it 1,000 times from all the YouTube videos you watch, but they are true. I mean, I'm a small YouTuber. I have a grand total of 40 subscribers, and I can tell you that when a video generates likes, it gets seen by a lot more people. They aren't just saying BS. It actually works. So if you want to see more of this content, help the channel out by dropping a like and also dropping a comment telling me what you think. Have you played this game yet? It's been out for a month now. Ooh, I almost took damage there. If you've played this game, tell me what your favorite build is. Is it... Whoa. Maybe daggers? Daggers with the Berserker class? Sounds pretty sick. Alright, what do we got? Golden Might. When I push back an enemy, gain 25 gold. We got this really late to make any use of it, but... Whoops. Mistimed that one. So you can see my gold just go up every time I do the pushback. Okay, well, if he doesn't... Okay, that's not even fair. So now we're just gaining gold. Just do this over and over again. Oh, nope. I'm not letting you do that, bud. Yeah, at around the 8 to 9 minute mark, these mages start spawning in. And I'm not a huge fan of dealing with them. Like, 1 or 2 is not that bad. Like, you can see when they're about to cast, that's the yellow bar. And then you can kind of go in. And you can also deflect their spells, right? So the next one that spawns... There we go. So you can deflect their spells, right? Like that, and deal damage. But when there's so many of them on the screen, it gets really difficult to dodge all of the spells. You know what I mean? When you've got like 5 or 6 mages on screen, like you can't reliably do that. You want to just dash and kite around, circle strafe, whatever you can to avoid the projectiles. Trying to parry all of them gets rough. Well, I suppose 50% more weapon damage when there's only 1 enemy around. I will gladly grab that for the final boss. I'm not really worried too much about farming up much more gold at this point. Old axe, spear. Dagger. Dang, I would even take like a low-level cold sword at this point. Damage with daggers, axes, pushback damage. Sure. Any more mages? Yep. Yeah, and every enemy has different timings, right? Like, these guys do, like, a little spin. So you just gotta get used to the timing. Whoops. I almost messed that one up. You just sit here and farm gold. Oh, hello. Someone got behind me. You guys are really good at sneaking up on me. That's why I just got into a corner. Remember earlier I was explaining that I just sat in a corner when I wanted to farm gold? Because that way they can't sneak up behind you. Well, it also requires you to actually hit the parry. Look at all this gold we're getting. Crazy. Oh, we got a good one. So we could choose anything we want. Oh, man. Decisions. I think I'm just going to go for this guy. So when you take damage, heal for 25% of the damage taken. It can only trigger once every 3 seconds. But it's basically a 25% DR as long as you're not, you know, constantly taking damage. Plus, we've got the heal thing. Oh! We're at the final boss already. I didn't even realize we were at the 12-minute mark. All right, how much damage do I have stored? 723,000. Come on up, bud. Oh, almost. Oh my god! He didn't go into his phases! We killed him so quickly that he didn't even phase. That is crazy. He has an invulnerability phase where he summons minions. We just completely skipped it. He got wrecked. There's a cold axe. When you parry, automatically trigger pushback. That's so good too. But axes are tack. Well, actually, this one's not too bad, huh? It's still kind of slow. What else do we got? Another axe. With fire damage. Oh my god, we got a cold sword! Deals double riposte damage. Let's go. So, let's see. That one has, what, 1,500 damage. This one... Oh yeah, this one just does way more damage. Attack speed, fire damage, max health, increased cold damage. And then I never even showed off the weapon ability. All right, let's salvage the rest of these, get a little bit more gold. Which, also, funnily enough, because I have that a passive, you'll see every time I salvage one, look at my health bar. So I went from 540 to 541, right? Because we heal every time we pick up gold. So, very cool. Very cool. Grab this little bit of gold that's laying around on the ground. So I could spend some time at the vendor, re-rolling and looking for more gear. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole first level. And if you get scared, you can, like I said, stand in that green circle that's right here at the beginning for this particular level anyways. And then this door will open and all the enemies will despawn and you can just leave. And this will take you out of the run. But we did it! Let's go! If you haven't liked the video already, like it for the dub. Gold collected, 86,000. That's not bad. Almost 33 million damage done is kind of crazy. We've got... I want to stick with the Frostweaver now that I got a cold sword. I'm so excited for that. Yeah, so now cold weapons have a 25% chance to chill enemies. So now, if you get that upgrade, right, the passive for... Where is it at? Chilled enemies explode on death, dealing 25% damage multiplied by their chill amount. So if you can get icy fragmentation with a cold sword that we currently have and this passive in the tree, you're automatically chilling and you're not forced to do this to chill enemies, right? Which has a long cooldown. So I got a couple more passive points to put in. I'm going to play with this, but like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you want to see. So I'll show you the classes again. We've got the Pyromancer, which you've seen on the first run, but it was literally a blind run and we had no gear for it, no damage for it. We weren't built for it. We have the Stormcaller and we have the Berserker class. These are interesting. I will definitely say out of all of them, the Frostweaver is my favorite. There's something just so satisfying about it. The Lightning is pretty cool. The Pyromancer is pretty cool. The Berserker, I'm not sure how well I would do with that. But maybe you build up Rage, and then you can Warcry, and then when you Warcry, enemies affected by it will either take more damage, it'll increase weapon damage, you can also increase how much Rage you generate with every melee hit, and you can heal when killing an enemy that's intimidated by a Warcry. There's some interesting stuff there, and we do have a bunch of different weapons we can go through. You've seen, I think, most of them at this point. Daggers, axes, swords, yeah, spears. The spears are pretty fun. They have a really long reach and they poke really fast. But anyways, that's going to be it for me. I've got things I actually need to do today, but you bet your rear end when I'm done, I'm coming back and playing this game. I'm just having so much fun with it. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe. Check out the playlist for more videos. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop a playlist for this game. You can check out the video that I did yesterday on that playlist if you want to see my blind playthrough, which wasn't of this game mode. It was of the story mode, whatever it's called, Ascension or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, Ascension campaign, which is also really cool and really fun. You're in that mode, you're starting out bare bones with absolutely nothing. You got to find weapons, you got to find upgrades. Like, it's like true rogue-like, whereas this is rogue-lite, right? So you can maintain stuff throughout the run. Well, that's not entirely true for this because you do maintain your skill tree. So whenever you play Ascension, whatever you have in your skill tree does apply. But anyways, enough rambling for me. I'm done. Check out this game if you haven't already. It's cheap. It's available on Steam now. When I say cheap, I don't mean poor quality. You've seen the quality. I like the game. I mean as in it's inexpensive. It's like less than $10 or something. Anyways, I'm done. Remember, guys, skill is optional, but fun is mandatory. I'll catch you in the next one.